Feel that. Before you do anything else, before your mind begins to race ahead, just feel that low, persistent hum beneath the floorboards of your body. It is not in your ears. It is in your bones. It is a vibration that started sometime after the sun went down last night, a current that entered the bedrock of your world while you were sleeping, or trying to sleep, turning over and over as if your own mattress had become a landscape of unfamiliar hills and valleys. You might have mistaken it for anxiety, for the residue of a difficult conversation, for too much caffeine late in the day. It is none of those things. That hum is the sound of a tuning fork struck on a cosmic scale, and your body, your life, the very frame of your house, is the resonance chamber. This is not an accident. This is an audit. What began in the quiet hours before dawn was the commencement of a celestial stress test, an alignment so rare that the old star readers of the Fertile Crescent had only one glyph for it: the sign of the inevitable crack. It is a period, lasting no more than 3 days, where a specific gravitational and magnetic wave washes over our sector of the galaxy. It is not a wave of destruction. You must understand this from the outset. It is a wave of absolute, unsparing honesty. It does not break anything that was not already broken. It simply applies a steady, invisible pressure to every structure in your life, and it waits. It waits for the hairline fractures, the ones you have been expertly painting over for months, for years, to show themselves. It finds the weak mortar, the compromised foundation, the part of the wall where you substituted hope for integrity. And since last night, its primary focus has been on the architecture of your connections to other human beings, your relationships. The last time this particular wave passed was not in your lifetime, nor in the lifetime of your grandparents. It was at a time chronicled by Babylonian clay tablets, a time when kings would consult their priests about the strange behavior of their courtiers, the sudden confessions of their queens, the inexplicable dissolution of treaties that had been sealed in blood. The priests would look to the heavens and say, "The god Marduk is holding the great scale. He is not judging. He is merely weighing. What is light, what is hollow, will be lifted and seen for what it is. What is solid will be proven by its own weight." You are, right now, in the middle of that weighing. The hum in your bones is the vibration of the scale settling. And I am here to walk you through it, because the next 48 hours are critical. What is exposed cannot be hidden again, and what you do with the exposure will determine the foundation of your life for the next decade. So breathe. Feel the soles of your feet on the floor. Let us begin. Let me tell you what this pressure feels like, because the cosmos always speaks first through the body. It speaks a language older than words, a language of heat and tension, of stillness and release. For some of you, it began as a heat behind the navel, a churning in the gut that had nothing to do with food. This is the activation of your core, your center of instinct and truth. This is the place where you digest experience. For weeks, perhaps months, you have been swallowing things that are indigestible. Half-truths, polite evasions, your own unspoken needs. You have been accommodating, making yourself smaller, more convenient, more palatable. And that churning is your body finally saying, "No more. We cannot process this lie." The pressure wave has hit this center first, demanding that you either assimilate the truth or expel the poison. That conversation that ended too neatly, that agreement that left you feeling hollow, that smile you gave when what you felt was a silent scream, your body is bringing it all back up for review. It is not punishment, it is purification. For others, the pressure arrived in the hips and the lower back. A deep, profound ache. A feeling of being locked, of being unable to move forward with ease. Your hips are the seat of your relational life, the cradle of your creative and forward-moving energy. When a relationship is no longer aligned with your true path, when it is holding you in a pattern that has expired, your body will try to tell you by locking the very mechanism of your own momentum. That tightness is the physical manifestation of an energetic tether to a past or a present that no longer has a future. It is the feeling of trying to walk in two directions at once. The celestial pressure is not creating this tension. It is merely illuminating it, turning up the volume on a whisper of discomfort until it becomes a roar you cannot ignore. It is your body asking you, with profound urgency, where are we actually going, and who is truly walking with us? And for so many of you, it is settled right behind the breastbone, a tightness in the chest that feels like a band being cinched one notch too tight. This is the heart. This is the center of connection, of giving and receiving. But it is also the place where we armor ourselves. The pressure you feel is the force of your own truth pushing up against the armor you built to protect yourself. The armor of being the good one, the easy one, the strong one. The armor of not asking for too much. The armor of pretending you don't need what you so desperately, so beautifully, so humanly need. The pressure wave is testing this armor. It is looking for the places where it has become a cage. And that ache, that feeling of constriction, is the sensation of your own heart demanding more room to breathe. It is the sound of a door long sealed beginning to strain against its frame. It says, "Let me out. Let me feel. Let me speak what is true for me." These are not random symptoms. They are coordinates on a map, pointing directly to the source of the fracture. The universe is not being cruel. It is being precise. It is handing you a diagnostic report, written in the language of your own flesh and blood. It is asking you to become a cartographer of your own inner landscape, to follow the lines of tension back to their source. Because the source is always a place where the structure of a relationship has diverged from the truth of your soul. To understand the sacred nature of this test, we must look to the old stories. They are not just tales, they are echoes of the same cosmic laws that are at play right now. Think of Penelope, the wife of Odysseus, besieged by suitors in his long absence. Every day she would work at her great loom, weaving the story of her life, the story of her marriage, into a grand tapestry. And every night by candlelight, she would secretly unweave a portion of what she had woven. This was not an act of madness or delay. It was a test. It was her way of holding a space of integrity, of testing the threads of her own commitment against the pressures of the outside world. She was in a constant state of review, of asking, is this thread still strong? Does this color still hold true? Is this pattern still mine? You, right now, are being asked to become Penelope at her loom. The tapestry of your relationships, what you thought they were, what you told yourself they were, is before you. The celestial pressure is the candlelight in the dark, and it is illuminating the threads. It is showing you the places where the color has faded, where the weave has become loose, where a thread that was once spun from love has been replaced by one of obligation, or fear, or shared history alone. The work of this time is not to tear the whole cloth apart in a panic. It is to have the courage to unweave what is no longer true, to pull the thread of a false promise, of an unspoken resentment, of a dynamic that keeps you small, to see the hole it leaves, to sit with the space that is created, because only then can you know what is real, what is strong enough to be woven back in. Only then can you see the true pattern. In the Vedic tradition, there is a concept called Ruta, the cosmic order, the great intricate, intelligent dance of the universe. And there is Dharma, which is one's own individual, sacred truth, one's authentic path. Sometimes, for Dharma to be revealed, Ruta must appear to fall into chaos. A storm must come, a flood must rise, a fire must burn. The ancient seers understood that these moments of disruption were not a failure of the cosmic order. They were a necessary, sacred, and intelligent part of it. They were moments of clarification. The storm does not come to punish the tree. It comes to test its roots. The weak branches break so that the strong ones can receive more light. The churning you feel, the sense that the ground is shifting beneath your feet in your most important connections, is this sacred storm. It is a disruption of the surface-level order to reveal a deeper, more profound truth. The relationship that operates on polite, unspoken rules, the friendship that has become a performance, the family dynamic that runs on guilt. These are the weak branches. The pressure is revealing them not to shame you, but to liberate you. It is asking you to let them break. To grieve them, yes, but to understand that the breaking is what allows the light to reach the core of the tree. It is what allows you to find your Dharma again, your own true north, which may have been obscured by the dense foliage of other people's expectations. This is not about blame. Let that word dissolve from your tongue. This is not about finding fault in another or in yourself. This is about alignment. A boat that is perfectly built can still be wrecked if it is sailing against the fundamental current of the ocean. Many of you are in beautifully constructed boats with people you genuinely love, but you are sailing in different directions. The pressure wave is making the current so strong that you can no longer ignore the discrepancy. You can no longer pretend that rowing harder is the solution. The test is not of your love, or your effort, or your worth. The test is of your direction. The test is of your honesty about the tide. Perhaps the most potent myth for this moment is the Sumerian story of Inanna, Queen of Heaven, and her descent into the underworld. To reach her sister, the Dark Queen Ereshkigal, Inanna had to pass through 7 gates, and at each gate, the gatekeeper required her to remove one piece of her royal adornment, one symbol of her power and identity. At the first gate, her crown. At the second, her lapis lazuli necklace. At the third, her breastplate. On and on, until at the 7th and final gate, she stood naked, stripped of everything she thought she was. Only then could she enter the deepest realm. This is what has been happening since last night. You have been brought to the first gate. The relationship that is being tested is your underworld, the place of deep, hidden truths. And the celestial pressure is the gatekeeper. It says, to go deeper, something must be relinquished. And what is being asked of you is the removal of an illusion. The first adornment to go is the story you tell yourself about the other person. The story that they are your savior, or your project, or your responsibility. The story that you know what's best for them, or that they know what's best for you. The pressure is stripping away the projection, forcing you to see the actual human being standing before you, in all their complexity and sovereignty, not the role you have cast them in. At the next gate, you will be asked to surrender another adornment, the illusion of control. The belief that if you just say the right thing, do the right thing, manage the situation perfectly, you can keep the structure from cracking. You cannot. The wave is larger than your will. Your only power right now is in surrender. not to defeat, but to reality. To allow what is true to be true. To allow the crack to show. To stand before it, naked of your strategies and your arguments, and simply witness it. This is an act of profound courage. This is the work of Inanna. It is the journey from the performance of a relationship to its raw, naked, and ultimately more powerful core. So let's bring this down from the heavens and the ancient temples right into the room where you sit. I want you to think of one relationship, just one, that has felt the pressure most acutely in the last day or two. A conversation that felt strangely heavy. A silence that was louder than words. A sudden, inexplicable distance. Or perhaps a sudden, uncomfortable closeness, a confession or a question that you were not prepared for. Bring that connection into your heart space, right behind your breastbone. Do not think about what to do. Not yet. The time for action will come, but it is not now. Now is the time for diagnosis. Now is the time for honest witnessing. With that person, that connection, held in your awareness, I want you to feel in your body the unnamed truth. The thing you both know but have not spoken. It hangs in the air between you. It is the subtext of every conversation. It might be a desire, a resentment, a fear, a change of heart, a boundary that needs to be drawn. You have both been masterfully dancing around it, protecting each other, or perhaps just protecting the fragile structure you have built together. The pressure wave that is passing through has one mission: to make that unnamed thing so dense, so heavy, that it can no longer hang in the air. It must land. It must be touched. It must be named. You feel it, don't you? That is the crack. That is the point of stress. The entire structure of the relationship is groaning under the weight of this one unspoken thing. This is not a test of love. Let me say that again. This is a test of capacity. Does this relationship, in its current form, have the capacity to hold the truth? Not the polite truth, not the convenient truth, the real truth. The truth that might be messy or inconvenient or heartbreaking. The truth that might change everything. Because a structure that cannot hold the truth is not a sanctuary. It is a prison, however beautifully decorated. And the hum in your bones is the sound of your own soul rattling the bars. This is the moment of direct emotional confrontation. Not necessarily with the other person, not yet. The confrontation is with yourself. You have to be the first one to stop dancing. You have to be the first one to look directly at the unnamed thing. You have to be the one to stop pretending you don't feel its weight. The fear, I know, is that if you name it, everything will shatter. The fear is that the crack will become a chasm and you will fall. This is a real fear. It is not to be dismissed. But let me offer you a reversal of that thought, a deeper truth from the heart of the cosmos itself. The shattering has already happened. You are just looking at the ghost of the structure. The crack appeared the moment the truth was left unspoken. The moment a need was swallowed. The moment a boundary was crossed without comment. You have been living in a house with a broken foundation, learning to walk on a slant, adjusting to the creaks and groans, telling yourself, this is normal. The pressure wave is a gift. It is the building inspector of the soul. It is taping off the unsafe rooms. It is showing you the structural damage, not so you will be homeless, but so you can finally build something that is sound, something on bedrock. And you will not do this with force. You will not do this with anger or blame, though those feelings may arise as messengers. You will do this with a quiet, devastating reverence for what is real. You will do this with the courage of an archaeologist who gently brushes away the dust of centuries to reveal the artifact beneath. The artifact is the truth of your connection. It may not be what you thought it was. It may be smaller or simpler or from a different era entirely. But it will be real, and you can only build on what is real. Now, I am going to walk you through a practice for these next 2 days. This is not about forcing a confrontation. This is about aligning yourself with the clarifying energy that is already at work, so that you can navigate it with grace and integrity. This is your work as Penelope at the loom, as Inanna at the gates. Tonight, on this first night of revelation, you will perform the ritual of the stone and the water. Find a clear glass. The clarity is important. You must be able to see through it. Fill it with still water. This water represents the relationship itself, the fluid, emotional, energetic container you have created with this other person. Now, find a small stone. From your garden, from the street, it does not matter. Hold it in your hand. This stone represents the core, unspoken truth, the thing that has the most weight between you. Feel its density, its solidity. Hold the glass in one hand and the stone in the other. Bring to mind the person and the connection being tested. Then, very gently, speak the name of that unspoken truth to the stone. You only need to whisper it. Name the fear. Name the desire. Name the resentment. Name the change. We are growing apart. I am afraid to need you. This is no longer enough for me. I have not forgiven you. Whatever it is, speak it into the mineral reality of the stone. Then, slowly, lower the stone into the glass of water. Place the glass somewhere you will see it before you go to sleep and when you wake up. Your only task for the next 24 hours is to witness. Do not stir the water. Do not remove the stone. Just look. See how the water holds the stone. See how the stone rests, unmoving, at the bottom. See the slight distortion the water creates around the edges of the stone. This is a meditation on what is, the fluid emotion and the solid truth it contains. This is you, looking at the reality of the structure without trying to change it. This is your first act of profound, radical honesty, just to see what is there. Tomorrow, on the second day, you will perform the ritual of the heat and the page. You will need a single piece of paper and a candle. On one side of the paper, I want you to write down the story of the relationship as you have always told it to yourself. The beautiful story, the official story. We are soulmates. We have the perfect friendship. We will always be this way. Write down the promises, the memories, the identity you have built around this connection. This is the tapestry you have been weaving. Then, turn the paper over. On the other side, with a different pen if you have one, I want you to write down the hairline crack that has been exposed. Write down the feeling that surfaced in the last 48 hours, the doubt, the ache, the uncomfortable moment, the truth the stone represents. Now fold the paper in half, with the crack on the inside, hidden. This is how you have been living, holding the beautiful story on the outside and the painful truth on the inside. Light your candle. Take the folded paper and hold it near the flame. Not in the flame. Do not set it on fire. Your intention is not destruction. Your intention is revelation. Hold it close enough that the heat of the flame begins to affect the paper. Let it warp. Let it brown slightly at the edges. Let the structure of the paper itself begin to change under the pressure of the heat. As you do this, you are acknowledging that the hidden truth is creating stress. It is changing the very fabric of the container. You are honoring the power of this hidden thing. You are admitting to yourself and to the universe that the structure is no longer stable in its old form. It is under duress. It is in transformation. Hold it there until you feel a shift in your own body, a release. Then, extinguish the flame. Keep the warped, folded paper. It is a holy object now. It is a testament to your courage to face the heat. On the third and final day, the day the celestial wave begins to recede, you will perform the ritual of the return. Go back to your glass of water with the stone inside. Look at it one last time. Then, reach in and retrieve the stone. The water will be cold. That is as it should be. Dry the stone and hold it in your closed fist. Walk with it. Feel its weight, its reality. But now, feel that it is separate from the water. The truth is its own thing. The relationship is its own thing. They are not fused. They are related, but they are not the same. This is a crucial distinction. The truth does not have to destroy the relationship, but it must be honored as a separate and powerful reality. Take the stone outside. Find a patch of bare earth, not in a pot, not on concrete, on the living ground. Place the stone on the earth. You are returning the core truth to the bedrock. You are acknowledging that it is real, solid, and elemental. It is a part of the world. It is not just your story, your problem. It is a fact, like a stone is a fact. Then, take the glass of water. Pour the water out onto the earth next to the stone. As you pour, you are releasing the old form of the relationship. You are letting go of the container that was holding that unspoken truth. This is an act of release. It does not mean you are ending the relationship. It means you are ending the form of the relationship that required the truth to be submerged. You are creating a space for a new form to emerge, one that can exist in the open air, with the truth sitting right there on the ground beside it, acknowledged and respected. You are giving the connection a chance to reform around reality, rather than illusion. After you have done this, stand for a moment. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the hum in your bones begin to quiet, replaced by a deeper, calmer sense of solidity. You have not solved the problem. You have created the conditions for a true resolution to find you. You have aligned yourself with the cosmic current of honesty. Now you can walk back into your life, not with a script, but with a clarity you have not felt in years. You will know what must be said, or what must be left unsaid. You will know if a door must be closed, or if a new one must be built. You will not be acting from fear. You will be acting from the bedrock. You did not find this message by accident. The algorithm of the universe is far more precise and mysterious than any code written by human hands. Something in you, that low hum, that deep ache, recognized the frequency of this truth before I even spoke the first word. You were guided here because you were ready. You were brave enough to stop pretending, and the universe rushed in to meet you with a map. Do not doubt the intelligence of your own seeking heart. It knew the storm was coming. It led you to a lighthouse. What was exposed in you, in your connections, cannot be hidden again. See this not as a tragedy, but as a liberation. The energy required to hold a lie in place, to paint over a crack day after day, is immense. That is the energy that has been draining you, making you tired, making you feel locked. That energy is now being returned to you. It is the energy of creation. You can now use it to build something true, something that can withstand the storms to come. Whether it is with the same person in a new and more honest way, or on your own, on a path that is finally truly yours, the choice is now yours. The universe has done its part. It has applied the pressure. It has revealed the fracture. It has delivered its unsparing, compassionate report. Now, you must choose. You must be the weaver. You must be the one who walks through the gate. You must be the one who decides what to build upon the bedrock. I want you to make a declaration, a sacred commitment to this process. In the space below, I want you to write one of three things. If you are in the first stage, the stage of witnessing, write, "I see the stone in the water." If you have moved to the second stage, the stage of acknowledging the pressure, write, "I am holding the page to the flame." And if you have completed the work and are ready to move forward in a new way, write, "I have returned the stone to the earth." Your words will be a testament to your journey, but they will also be a light for others. Someone will scroll through these comments, their heart aching with the same pressure you feel, and they will see your words. They will see that they are not alone in this sacred, difficult work. Your declaration of courage will become someone else's permission to be courageous. This is how we weave a new world. Not thread by thread, alone in the dark, but together, holding the light for one another. I have spent many hours in stillness, listening to these ancient currents, translating this celestial weather so that the course for you would be clear. It is my deepest honor to serve as a guide in these potent times. If this work has served you, subscribe and ring the bell so that you do not miss the next map when the landscape shifts again. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You are handling sacred material. You are doing the work of the gods, and you are doing it perfectly.